Hey guys, it's Troy, and yeah, a little different venue for this video. It's going to be a short one anyway, but believe it or not, it's quieter outside than it is inside right now because we've got 4 students on the inside plus my wife and 2 dogs. So I decided, why not come outside? My wife and I had just gotten back from a getaway for our anniversary. We try to do that at least once a year. Get away for a couple of days together to reconnect as a couple and just be together. This time, my wife decided she wanted to go somewhere that was going to be more up my alley, that would be on my bucket list, for which I'm grateful. And where we went, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I'm kind of a history buff. I enjoy history, and specifically, I love American history, and I make no apology for that. You know, I've been studying it, reading about it, and American government. Taught on the Constitution for a long time. So it always has been on my bucket list to go up to Philadelphia and see all the famous sites. Well, we spent 3 days going all over the city, and even with the COVID-19 situation going on, we still got a chance to do stuff like eat Philly cheesesteak in Philly, get some Italian food in Philadelphia. We ate Chinese food in Chinatown, kind of thing. And we got to go see a lot of the touristy sites that you would normally expect, like the Liberty Bell, Independence Hall. Always wanted to see Independence Hall. That was one that I've always wanted to be able to experience and be in the same room with these guys crafted during the Second Continental Congress. They eventually crafted the Declaration of Independence and took that bold move when they adopted on July the 2nd, not 4th, 2nd, of 1776, the resolution to separate from England. And then, obviously, the declaration that followed. And then later on, the Constitutional Convention of 1787. Also Carpenter's Hall, where they had the first Continental Congress. That we got to see the Betsy Ross House. We did a tour around the city where we got to see the Museum of Art and City Hall. And we walked over to Christ Church, which was not giving us tours at the time, but that's where a lot of the founders worshipped for a long time. We got to see the graveyard, where you have at least 5 signers of the Declaration of Independence that are interred, including people like Benjamin Rush and Benjamin Franklin. Then we got to go over to the second Bank of the U.S. building, visit the portrait gallery that was there. That we got to go by the Quaker Meeting House and see it, but we couldn't go inside because they were closed for the whole COVID-19 thing. You know, Carpenter's Hall, Independence Hall, always on my hit list. So anyway, we got to do that, but we got to go over to the Constitution Center. And one of the things about the Constitution Center, it was interesting because you know, presidential candidate Joe Biden, we couldn't get in there the day that we wanted to because we couldn't book tickets because he was having his town hall meeting that day. So I couldn't buy tickets to get in, so I had to get it for the next day. And when we got in, they were still breaking down all the press stuff and the electronics and the video equipment from the previous night. That was always interesting. And working in the broadcast industry always have a specific interest for me. But as a pen enthusiast, going through the Constitution Center, it's also a museum. And they have several displays that are up. One about the 19th Amendment, and they had one about the Civil War and Reconstruction. So there were a couple of pen things there. That's the whole point of me doing this video on this channel. There were 2 pen things that were in the museum. When you're a pen guy, you kind of look for these things or they catch your attention. So I took a couple of photos of these. Frederick Douglass. For those of you who are not familiar with Frederick Douglass from your history lessons, go back, look him up. Tremendous individual, very high intellect, escaped slave, abolitionist, great role model, very intelligent individual. This picture depicts, or actually is, his pen and inkwell that he was using circa early 1800s. That to me was, now that's wicked cool, man. Frederick Douglass actually used this to write a lot of his essays. Fantastic to see. And then over in another display, we got to see this, the pen used by Abraham Lincoln to sign Ulysses S. Grant Commission as Lieutenant General in 1864. And it's a nice ornate pen. Obviously, these are dip pens, so you can have a dip pen in an inkwell, but the actual pen and still with a nib as a part of it were there in that display from 1864, actually used by Abraham Lincoln. So if you're a pen guy, look for these sorts of things when you're in a museum. I saw these, I thought they were really cool, great pieces of American history, and I wanted to come and share them with you on this particular channel. Thanks for watching.